Epilogue, Oh My God, by Sky. Sometime into the future, although not that far because we'd only just finished writing this book, we were all invited back to Marescimar for a huge party to welcome in the new millennium. Everyone was in the hall of feasting and all the tables were laden with food and drinks. Lounging around them were wizards and angels, children who can heal sickness, famous writers and massive giants, ice witches and their pet penguins, pink flamingos and tiny fearsome fairies, ghosts who can barely contain their excitement at being allowed to eat again, and every sort of magical creature that you could imagine. Inside and outside the hall were rainbow banners and crazy bunting made from all the colours in the universe, including some that can only be seen by bumblebees. Floating about in the air were enormous platters of party food. Whenever someone took anything from one of the platters, the food was replenished immediately through a mixture of magic and the physics of enchantment. Music was playing, and later there'd be dancing on the beach. It was the celebration to end all celebrations. In the middle of all the new millennium joy, one half giant of an angel with wild red hair was handing out cakes, but they were decorated with wild warrior fireworks, so hardly anyone dared to eat them for fear of being blasted mid-mouthful. Just before the dancing started, Blizzard and Miguel called out to Frank and Ben. "Blizzard," Frank shouted. "Miguel, how are you?" "Great party," yelled Ben. Miguel shot several skyrockets from the stash he had taped all around his wheelchair. "The best," he shouted. "Yes," yelled Ben. "I have a friend who'd like to meet all of you," said Blizzard. He moved aside to reveal Gandalf in his best hat and finest robes. "A pleasure to meet you," said the wizard with a wry, crooked smile. Frank and Ben looked as if they might pass out, but eagerly shook Gandalf's hand. Minnow and I raced over to join the boys, and we all began to quiz the old wizard about his latest adventures. I have to say that he has the kindest eyes I've ever seen and the best stories. After a while, Minnow and I went outside. Overlooking the sea were two magical swings suspended from the branches of a massive tree. We couldn't believe our luck. We both love swinging. The ropes expanded through magic to take us way out over the sea and then back into the depths of the jungly garden which surrounded the hall of feasting. As we swung back and forth, we started using some special telepathy that Jax had taught us. Instead of just thinking the messages, we sent them in written form. The twilight sky was dark pink up above the sea and the deepest blue near the horizon. Our words were set in sparkling gold against that backdrop and stayed in front of both of our eyes for a few moments before disappearing into the ether. Sky to Minnow. "OMG, OMG, OMG. Best feast." Minnow to Sky. "I know!" exclamation mark. "PS. Plus, you are amazing." Kiss, kiss. Sky. "No, you are. If I hadn't found you, I'd be dead." Minnow. "Of course you wouldn't be dead. You are you, the bravest person I've ever met." Minnow smiled and thought to herself, "I'm so glad that Ben and Sky finally know what it's like to be among good people. It's such a heavenly feeling and something I've known all my life." I grinned at her. Using telepathy, I said, "I heard all of that." Minnow laughed. "Good," she said out loud.